Hey guys, my name is Trevor Petway. I've been playing guitar for about 5-6 years now, and I've been on worship teams for about as long as I've been playing guitar. So I just wanted to talk about my gear, how I have everything set up on my pedal board, and yeah, so let's get to it. Alright, so I've got about 8 pedals in total, 8 or 9, and it's a really simple setup, just some overdrives, a compressor, volume pedal, delay, and reverb. So pretty much all the standard stuff that most worship guitar players have or need. And I start off with the compressor at the very front of the chain, and I just have that there to just kind of lift everything up and make the quiet things louder and kind of soften the higher end things. So I'll go ahead and do a before and after with the compressor. And you can kind of notice, if you listen really well, that it kind of just brightens everything up and lifts it up from kind of a murky place where that's where it sounds like when it's off. And I leave that on all the time. That never comes off, ever. And right after that, I have the Emerson Custom M Drive, and I use this as more of a clean boost and maybe a boost for solos or lead lines if I really need to just be out there in front of the band. And here's what this sounds like before and after that, with the compressor on. So that just kind of really easily lifts everything up and kind of makes it stand out, whether I'm finger picking, playing some swells underneath something quiet, or just need to be out there in front of the band for a solo or anything. And right after that, I've got the Tube Screamer, the TS-808. It's not the TS-9, just a little bit of a different circuit, and this is probably my go-to overdrive. I've got it on basically all the time, just adjusting the gain with my foot. And yeah, I just use this for literally everything. Rhythm, lead lines, swells, never comes off, hardly ever. And I just did that just so you could see a little bit what the gain does as you adjust it with your foot. And if you can really get good at that, that'll just help you when you're in the middle of a worship set, so you don't have to just bend down there and kind of like pause from playing. So, and right after that, I've got the Full Tone Full Drive, which is actually kind of a Tube Screamer clone. It's got a TS-9 circuit, but just because it's a clone, it does sound a little bit different. And I use this for like really heavier lead lines where I need to be out there in front of everything, and just raunchier songs like that need a lot of drive in them. And yeah, right after that, I've got my volume pedal, which just turns me up and down. It's a volume pedal, nothing fancy. And I run the tuner out on that. I've got the Ernie Ball VP Junior. I love it. It hasn't broken yet, and I've had it for about 2 years. And I just leave the tuner on all the time since it's in the tuner out. But the reason why I leave the volume pedal in the middle is that when you put it after your overdrives in your signal chain, it'll kind of, it won't adjust the gain of your signal when you're adjusting it up and down. Whereas if I had it before my drives, I could leave it about midway and I wouldn't have the full gain. And some people like that. I'm just not used to it. I've tried it. It's just not for me. I like to have all my gain there all the time, whether I'm doing swells or trying to play a lead line or whatever. I like to have all my gain there and just kind of fade into the song that way. So right after my volume pedal, I go into the line 6 echo park, and the way I've got this set up, I pretty much always leave it on. I have it on a quarter note delay setting right down there. I have the mix at about a little over halfway so that you can really hear me or hear the pedal signal. And depending on what song I'm playing, whether it's a drivey lead part or just some swells or just something to have underneath some rhythm, I'll adjust the repeats accordingly. And this is just really basic. Just and it's got a tap tempo on it, which makes live playing really cool, really cool and easy. Right after that, I've got the Boss DD20 Giga Delay, and this is probably my best friend. I use it for just about everything, turning it on and off, and I primarily use the dotted 8 setting on that. Well, I try not to overuse it, but it just goes really nice for some swells and things like that. So I'll go ahead and so that has just a ton of things, and it's a really big, really fun box of tricks right there. And right after that, I've got the Boss RV5 reverb pedal, and that goes well just to make kind of a chimey sound with your swells. Here's what it sounds like without any other pedals on. And having time-based effects after my volume pedal is part of just what I've always known, and it affects the way that the repeats come out of your signal, and that's just what I've always done, and I think it sounds good, so it's what I'm going to keep doing.